This is Pivot Perspectives with Chris O'Byrne, the show that takes you around the world to share interviews with some of the most successful and relevant people on the planet. Hear their stories and get the most important business lessons they've learned on their road to success, and get exclusive access on how to implement their success into your life and business. Pivot Perspectives is brought to you by the Strategic Advisor Board and your host, Chris O'Byrne.
Cassie, thank you so much for joining the show today. Super excited to have you here. I've really been looking forward to this.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me, Chris. I really appreciate it. I'm excited to get chatting.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to ask questions that are of interest to me
Yeah.
and just hope that everybody else finds them as interesting. So
Yeah.
first thing I like to know is what's a story from your childhood that you feel was important to helping you become who you are today?
Ooh, that's a really good question. It's so funny because a lot of my friends hold inner child workshops. Have you heard of those?
Yes.
When I've done them, a lot of times you look back and it's like, what would I tell my younger self? And I was always such like a headstrong, vivacious, like super passionate, outgoing little kid that I'm like, what would my younger self tell me now? Now that I've gone through this thing called life for about 33 years here. I think I innately always enjoyed performing. I was always a people person. I had begged my parents since I could talk to take acting classes and dancing classes and singing classes. I always wanted to just perform. Genuinely enjoyed seeing a smile, seeing smiles on people's faces and feeling like I was a part of that, whether it be, like I said, singing or dancing or acting. I just always loved performing for people and always loved, like I said, putting a smile on people's faces. So yeah, I had begged them and then finally got into acting classes, I think when I was maybe 8 years old and started auditioning in Miami when I was 10. God bless my mother taking me back and forth from Parkland to Miami for every casting call, whether it be commercial work or modeling, work back in the day. So in the terms of my career, I just, I was headstrong and I did not have a plan B. I didn't believe in plan Bs. I was always like, you know what? This is what I want to do. And this is what I will do. I really manifested that. And yeah, I wound up going out to LA for the first time when I was 14. I actually had a screen test for Hannah Montana, which is a fun little fact. Miley's amazing. Super happy for her. but that was actually my first time out in LA for work. So and then from there, I didn't really, put me down that I didn't book this job. I was just more eager and more excited and more grateful for the connections I'd made. And I did a little more work with Disney. And then, the rest is history. I love what I do. And I guess to answer your question, childhood to now and how my childhood and who I am shaped who I am today, I was just very passionate and very, I always had that mentality to never give up, as cliche as it may sound. I also have a very supportive family. Being in this industry from a very young age can be super difficult on a family. My mom, bringing me out to LA back and forth, and my parents are still together. So, having to constantly, either we had to come back to Florida or my father had to fly out, out to visit us. And, it was so amazing and is to this day, just the support that they were able to give me back then, of course, financially as well, a child wanting to do this type of work and all of the flights and all of the driving back and forth all over the place. But also just, the love and affection that I was given. And that really helped me and fueled me and it helped me continue on the path, because there is a lot of rejection in the industry I'm in. And you have to have thick skin. If you don't, I highly suggest, thinking twice if this is what you want to do, because it is hard, but if you want it bad enough and you love it enough, which, it is the love of my life, the entertainment industry, then you got to stay at it. You got to stick with it. So definitely having a wonderful supportive family, my parents and my siblings. And yeah, just not really letting anything get in my way along the way from childhood to now. I really was that kind of child, which amazes me looking back. I'm like, wow. I guess ignorance is bliss, right? The older you get, the tougher life can seem to get at times. But yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, how hard is it to break into acting? I mean, how persistent do you have to be?
Very persistent. Everybody's journey is different. And for some people, it happens right away, breaking through or booking that big first job. My first job in the acting industry was I was an extra in a Burger King commercial, not featured extra, nothing like that. I was just in the background. I believe for this commercial, I was in karate gear. I guess I don't remember exactly how it went down because it's a long time ago now. But I was an extra, and I just remember being so excited about that role. Right? I was so. It's just so exciting as a kid being on a set and seeing all the cameras and being in a place
Yeah.
that you've dreamt of being, the set, right? So for me, it took some time, but with every job, I just got even more passionate and wanted it even more, as well as with every trial and tribulation. Um, I think I'm, the type of person who I think I like a little bit of a challenge sometimes. I like to prove people wrong, or I like to prove, you know, even if it's not prove people wrong, that's more this day and age, right? Breaking out of certain stereotypes that of
Yeah.
roles that I've played. But when I was younger, I really proved to myself, I guess, that I could do this. And honestly, I just never had any doubt. I didn't. And I think that's a huge part of it. I think mindset is everything, really
Oh, yeah.
believing and seeing yourself as an actor or whatever it is that somebody wants, whatever it is that someone may want to be in life, right? It's really seeing it and imagining it and believing it and manifesting that. So it's not easy, but it's absolutely worth it. And I think, yeah, all the challenges I have gone through in the industry has made me fall in love with it even more. It gives you thick skin, and it makes you appreciative. That the low moments make the high moments so much better and so much more grand and delicious. So I'm grateful for it all. And like I said, it's not easy, but it is 100% worth it if you love what you do.
Well, so what are some of those low points or struggles that you hit? What were some of the rough spots?
um well, the thing with the entertainment industry, you can be and I'm not speaking just about myself, anybody can be absolutely incredible, the most wonderful actor in the world, even, right? But a lot of times it's just timing or a look thing. I mean, there are a million different reasons as to why things at times may not go your way. And that's frustrating because in other, careers, you go to school, you work hard, you work your way up. There's a little more of, it's not as all over the place as the entertainment industry. You know what I mean? Like there's not necessarily any specific steps in our industry. Sometimes it's timing, sometimes it's, when, hard work meets opportunity. I know there's a quote, something like that out there, but it really is true, persistence, and that means meets a certain opportunity, or you just happen to cross paths with someone who truly believes in your talent. You never know. So I think that the challenges would be moments where you really just want to be working because you love it more than anything in the world. But, there are steps to getting there, and it's not always up to you or how great you are or how hard you work or how many classes you take. There can be a million reasons as to why you don't book something. So I think that the challenging moments for me have been when I'm not working, because I'm happiest when I'm on set. That's my happy place. Other than that, facing being stereotyped, that's something that I've dealt with my whole life. And, something I fight quite often to break down those stereotypes. So that's another challenge. There are many challenges that come with being in the industry. Hollywood is a really fast-paced, intense town. There are a lot of people out there that are, you know, that want the same, that have the same goal and the same dreams. So it's just a really tough city. And you've got to, like I said, you've got to find your tribe, make sure you have that support, check in with yourself often, and your mental health check-ins are very important to me. Is something I preach often about. Mental health, it also is, goes very hand in hand with the work I do with my nonprofit, Boo to Bullying. There's a big parallel between, bullying and mental health, whether that be someone else bullying you or you bullying yourself, the self-bully. So it's really about just sticking it out, continuously championing yourself and those around you. But it is a very hard industry with a lot of challenging moments because it is very up and down. You can feel, on top of the mountain one day, and then, while you're working, and then, 6 months later, you're struggling to find a job, or you're struggling to, I should say, book a job. I've always been very blessed to have remained only working in the industry and my charity work. But there are a lot of people out there that are busting their butts, on the side, working 3 different jobs, whether it's Uber or it's bartending or it's waitressing. It's a tough industry, but if you want it bad enough, then, you stick it out. So that's what I've done. Find the positives in those moments. Yeah.
Yeah. It affects your entire life. And
oh yeah,
again, your mental health, your happiness. It's that mindset that is so huge.
Absolutely.
So switching gears a little bit, because I've always wondered this, as an actor, what is the business side like for you? Like your business as an actor, what does that look like?
I would say as an actor, if we're not talking about the business side when it comes to agents and managers and your lawyers and all of that, your business, your job, your duty is to really perfect your craft. It's staying on top of classes, which can be really expensive. Like I said, there are challenging moments for actors when they haven't worked for 6 months, sometimes a year. But the business side, I would say, is just like really perfecting your craft and keeping your mental health in check too, because like I said, the industry can be really challenging, and just the city in general can be very intense, as I said earlier. And I can't think of a better word at the moment, but I'm sure it will come to me. So yeah, I mean, that's the only thing really, continuously putting yourself out there as best as you can. I think, for a lot of actors, at least myself, finding other creative outlets. I'm now getting into producing. I would love to write one day, direct, just keeping busy and keeping in classes when you can. And, obviously I know that there's challenges there for some people. I've been very blessed to have been able to, stay in classes throughout my career and work with some incredible coaches. But that's really all it is, for the actor. It's continuously sharpening those tools in the toolbox and staying on point with what you love to do.
Yeah. No,
I mean, I
like
can
that.
say the small things like making sure you have current headshots, or, nowadays, obviously there's social media, keeping in touch with fans, continuously putting out content. I guess that's more of the new world that we live in.
Yeah.
But as an actor, your only job really is to continue to pursue what you love and work on your craft. This sounds very easy, but some of these workshops, and I've done lots of master classes, and I've worked with such incredible, like I said, incredible coaches, and they can be really once again intense. That's the word of the day, but they can be. You're really digging in. It's almost, acting is the same thing as psychology. It's really getting to know how the human brain works, and then it's taking that and utilizing it whenever you step into a new role. How does this person think, whoever that character may be, right? And journaling about it and researching, depending on if you're playing a doctor, then you need to do some research to make sure you carry yourself like a doctor would, that how to properly hold the tools that a surgeon or would hold, or whatever it may be. So it's really, acting really is, to me, it feels like psychology. And it's just really knowing yourself and being vulnerable, which can be super hard for people to really open up in that way. And vulnerability is a huge part of it, I would say. Being able to be open and vulnerable and really dig into whatever character you are about to play, whether that, even if that's just in your acting class, right? That's still your work. It's still very important to give your 100% on the sidelines when you're not, in the game, when you're not on the set, so to speak.
Yeah. It's a lot of similarities really with every other entrepreneur out there. The creative outlets, the focusing and really working on your craft and making sure you're good at what you do and you understand it, and the balancing act, creating content. Every entrepreneur has to consider that now.
And that's
so
difficult. Well, especially
someone
like me, when I started acting, there was no social media. So it's been difficult navigating this new world. Because, I went out to Los Angeles to be an actress, not to be an influencer. I went out years and years and years ago because I loved acting. I loved stepping into these different characters and doing my research and really understanding people in general and connecting with people and performing. And I am absolutely so in love with acting, with the craft of acting. And it is hard, just feeling like you have to now put out all of this content and, to stay relevant or to stay up with the times, whatever it may be, because that's not my passion. If I'm being honest, I love connecting with people. That's my passion. But, I didn't go out to LA to be an influencer, to make TikTok videos, which I have all the respect in the world for people who are influencers. I love scrolling down my social media and watching, people's dances or get ready with me videos, whatever it may be, but it's just personally not my passion. So it is tough feeling like you have to keep up with social media and content, when it's the new normal, honestly. And it can be challenging for me personally. For other people, not so much. Some people love it. And there are times when I do enjoy it, but also I really do like being present in the moment. And I feel like nowadays, if you go into a restaurant, half of the restaurant is videotaping their food, and once again, there's no hate here. It's just, for me, like I said, I love acting. I love performing. And it's on a set rather than creating my own content. But I'm trying to get better because I do want to also just continue to give my fans and my supporters. I hate the word fans, actually. It makes me feel so uncomfortable. But the people who have supported me, whether it's from the beginning or, maybe they just found me now, watching one of my films or one of my shows that's streaming, but I want to be able to give them some content and connect with them, of course. But I'm definitely still learning how to navigate that or how to be better at it, and how to make it a little more conducive to my lifestyle. Everyone's content creating is also very different. So I'm trying to find the things that I'm already passionate about. Like, I love cooking. So maybe I'll start, posting a few more videos. That's a little easier because I'm in the house. I can pop the camera behind me and just do my thing, opposed to videotaping everything when I'm out in public, trying to enjoy my time with my family and my friends or my boyfriend. So, really a new world, a new age, but I'm doing my best to, I guess to understand it and to, like I said, give my supporters hopefully more content in the near future.
Yeah, that content, that's a whole business unto itself. And
It really
I
is time consuming.
it is. I know somebody who pays 70,000 a month for a team to manage his content. He's still creating the videos, but that whole machine,
Oh yeah.
70,000
It
a
is a
month.
job in itself. And
Yeah.
when I am auditioning and when we're not on strike, and I also have the charity that I serve as vice president for, Boo to Bullying, it's really hard to find time to create content. But I'm trying my best. Like I said, I want to give the people who follow me on social media everything I can. With of course you have to set boundaries in life. You have to also live a little, be present, be in the moment, travel, enjoy your loved ones. But I'm definitely trying to get a little better at it. But it is definitely it's been a challenge for me for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So, who have been some of the like key influences or mentors in your life?
Ooh, that's a good question. There's so many in so many different aspects of my life.
I bet.
Everyone in my family, I look up to, and they're definitely big. They all have a big influence in my life in the best way. Some of my acting coaches have become my biggest mentors. They've seen the most vulnerable sides of me. They've, helped me with pursuing the thing I love most in this world. So I'm very grateful to a lot of my mentors who were, my acting coaches. And certain honestly, I have some incredible friends that I really look up to that are in the industry, and friends that are not in the industry that have really inspired me. And one of my friends, Maya Stojan, she inspires me quite often. My friend Alexa Silvaggio inspires me quite often. Maya's an actress, and Alexa does a lot of things. She's certified breathwork coach, and she did a TEDx talk about a year or two ago. I've been really blessed to have found a really great group of friends out in Los Angeles. I'm so lucky. I also have my best friend from home in Los Angeles, Brittany. Her name is Brittany Sugarman. She's a dancer, and it's so nice to have a hometown best friend in that intense city, right? But many different mentors. I mean, like I said, I honestly, I've met strangers that have inspired me beyond belief. I have, worked with different activists that have really inspired me. It's so hard. That's such a hard question because, like I said, I'm sure somebody on the street yesterday inspired me in some way when I was walking my dog. I really try to pull as much as I can from as many wonderful people as I can. So the list can go on and on and on, but I would say, first and foremost, just my family, a lot of my coaches, have been my mentors throughout the years. And I think that I found a really wonderful tribe of friends that inspire me daily. So I'm very lucky.
You are.
Yeah.
And I like what you said about the strangers, because it's a matter of you find what you look for. And if you're looking for inspiration in everybody you meet, you're going to find it. It's just,
Absolutely. I was speaking to the
yeah.
woman who cleaned my teeth today, the dental hygienist, Sandy, and I was extremely inspired by her. She's writing this amazing book. So I really do try to, I don't know, like you said, you get, I guess how'd you phrase that pretty well? I'm like, can you rephrase that? I got to write that in my notes. You say you get what
You find what you look for,
you
or
find what you look for. Yeah. And
yeah,
also
or
what you
you'll
put
see
out
what you look
comes
for.
back to you. I do feel that. I do like to practice gratitude as much as possible. So I think that you do, get what you put in a sense, So yeah, like I said, the list goes on. And from my dental hygienist to my mother, to my grandmother, to my father, my siblings, boyfriend, acting coaches, the list really goes on. I mean, I pull inspiration from so many different places and people, just depending on what I'm going through in my life. So yeah.
Oh my God, nice. So I definitely want to give some time to talking about boo to bullying
Yeah.
and what as you go into that to talk about it, what do you do as the vice president?
That's a long list as well. As the vice president, there are many duties that for a vice president of a nonprofit. Everything from being a part of the finance committee and making sure that we're budgeting properly, to reaching out to different school districts, making sure that we're constantly coming up with creative campaigns, or a lot of event planning happens to fall on my lap. For example, we have an event coming up on the 30th, and I'm on weekly calls, but daily endless texts with our wonderful and very committed committee for this event. So it's sitting on those committees, making the phone calls, showing up, whether it's at a school assembly. I've spoke at many of our school assemblies. I started off as an ambassador, actually, but I've spoken at many school assemblies and on many panels, just really raising awareness. Like I said, budgeting. What else? There's so much. Really, I don't know. Helping, when we have a social media, right now we don't have a social media manager, but when we have had one in the past, hopping on calls with them and finding creative ways to engage with people and to support, people on social media or whatnot. I think my dad just walked in the door. Hello? Oh no, he did not. I thought I heard something back there. I'm like, oh, what was that? But anyway, yeah, the list goes on. But the most important thing is to, for myself, as well as Dimitri Halkidis, who is the president of our organization, it's being a leader and being there for the people on your board and being there for your ambassadors, and, being at as many events and, as many different parades as we can, whatever it may be. It's just as much as we can, push our mission statement and follow our mission. That's the most important thing.
So what does boo to bullying do?
Yeah.
How do
So
they help people?
bullying is this is actually our 10th year as a 501c3, our 10th anniversary, which we're very proud of. And our main focus is school assemblies. We like to get into these schools, create a safe space, share our stories, and hear from the students. Every school is different. We speak with, teachers and administration, principals prior to get a feel for the climate of that particular school and to hear about the issues that school might be facing. Every school is different. Every grade, honestly, deals with different issues surrounding bullying. So we like to get a feel for what's going on in that school and just create a safe space, and teaching the kids that also vulnerability is a superpower, being honest, being open, standing up for others, not being a bystander, which are people that just stand around while other people are getting bullied. But, teaching them also about self-love, because I think so much stems from self-love. We also talk a lot about the self-bully, right? The opposite of self-love. And self-love is really just, it's acceptance. It's accepting who you are. It doesn't mean you're suddenly perfect, so now you can love yourself, right? It's, hey, this is who I am. And, I accept all the good, the bad, and the ugly. And this is what I can work on. This is what I'm proud of. Reminding yourself of all the things that you are proud of and, everything that you are as often as you can. But also just accepting yourself right where you are in that moment. That's self-love. And that's something that's really important for us to teach the students. We obviously are, we also do a lot of suicide prevention work, and we heavily support the LGBTQIA plus community. And I mean, the bullying work, it's not one thing, because I feel like bullying is at the root of all evil, all negativity, all the bad in the world, right? So you can, it's doing anti-Semitism work and anti-racism work. And like I said, working with the LGBTQIA plus community. And also, starting to teach kids. We have two different programs for kids K-3. So it's teaching kids from a young age. It's really doing that foundational work and teaching them basically just how to be a good person. It's really not that hard, right? But it sometimes, in life with certain challenges and whatnot, we lose that. It can get hard, I guess. Sorry.
Yeah.
I haven't done an interview in a while because there's nothing to promote and I'm not allowed to promote anything. So I'm a bit rusty. But going back, we have two programs for kids K-3. One is called Cape Nation. It stands for Courage, Appreciation, Personal Help, and Education. It's all about putting on your cape, and anybody can be a superhero. And then we have another program called Parker and Boo, which is an animated short film that we produced alongside Danimation, who created this, created all the animation for this wonderful little short that we did. I actually voice Parker, Rob Paulson, the iconic Rob Paulson, Pinky and the Brain, Jimmy Neutron, Ninja Turtles. He plays Boo, the dog, our mascot.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's about really finding ways to teach children from a very young age how to eradicate hate and intolerance, but on a level that they understand. Obviously, when we go into the middle schools and high schools, it's very different. But for the kids, it's more about the foundational work. And that's where we show Cape Nation and Parker and Boo. So yeah, school assemblies, are our main focus, but it's also doing outreach and just constantly showing up and supporting whoever, as many people as we can in, whatever they need, because there are so many different bullying circumstances and obviously very different levels. There's so many different things that can be considered bullying. It doesn't discriminate, but it's really about showing up, being supportive, and teaching kids and teens the proper tools to combat bullying. So yeah.
So here's a practical question. Let's say you know somebody who is a bully, and let's just say middle school. What advice do you have for how to work with that child to help them? More than likely, they fully understand that they are a bully, but how do you work with them to, ultimately to change their behavior?
Here's the thing. Hurt people hurt people. So the number one thing you do is find out what's going on. Nobody, for the most part, who is extremely happy and living in a very healthy, happy household, who feels supported, who's proud of themselves, who garner self-love, those people don't bully. So it's really getting to the root of the issue. Why is this person bullying? And when we do go into these schools and speak, a lot of times afterwards, students will come up and share that they have been bullying, but the reasons as to why, what's going on, back in their home. A lot of times kids bring to school what they see in their household. So the number one thing and the answer to that is figuring out the root cause and the issue. I'm not a psychologist, but I do feel like I've been really, I feel like I get people. So I really enjoy helping people find out what that, doing the best I can to find out what that might be. And then, if I feel like a student is probably needing counseling or to speak to, or something's not, something's happening at home that's not safe, then, we reach out to people who are able to handle those types of circumstances. But for the most part, it is getting to the issue, the root cause. And, I like to tell kids as well, if you're feeling bullied or, you're bullying because you're lashing out due to something that's going on in your life, in my opinion, the best thing to do, of course, is number one, to talk to somebody. There is so much power in conversation. Just simply having a conversation can and will continue to save lives. It's breaking the silence and getting that negativity out of your body, and no longer feeling isolated, because I think that isolation is where negativity manifests, when you don't feel safe to speak out, or you're embarrassed or ashamed. But the most important thing to do, if you are struggling, whether you're the bully or the bullied, whatever it may be, if you're someone that's struggling in any capacity, the most important thing to do is to not let that bottle up, and to get that out immediately. Find somebody who you trust, who you feel safe with, that will listen to you. That's why Buddha Bullying is here. But also, whether it's a teacher, or it's a friend, or a parent figure, it's important to speak up and to stand up for yourself. But also, another thing that I really, I tell students, is to also really focus on your passions, your hobbies. Those things, I think, really help keep your mind off the negative things in life. And when you have something that you love, that you get to focus on, it's not as easy to harp on the negatives. So I think, keeping busy, keeping positive, continuously doing what you love, making sure that you speak out if you see something, or if you're hurting, if you're simply just, you're hurting, to make sure you speak out, speak up. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot of really good advice. I appreciate that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And so, to just kind of wrap things up at this point, and to continue with the advice, what are some parting words of advice that you'd just like to leave with people?
This is just a quote I like. No one outside of you can make you feel inferior without your consent. Love that quote. I probably messed it up, because once again, with this strike, I haven't done many interviews for a while. But I mean, I think the most important thing, like I said earlier, and I talk about this often, I remind myself of this. I talk to my friends about this. I talk to students about this. I think the most important thing in life is really loving yourself, because once you fully and completely love yourself, which, as we spoke about earlier, just means accepting yourself, I think that allows you to fully love life and to fully love people. So it all starts with you. You've got to really love who you are. And from there, I just think, if everyone could truly just love themselves, the world would be such a better place. You know what I mean? And obviously, that's way easier said than done. There have been times in my life where I wasn't happy with myself, for whatever reason it may be. I didn't feel like I was doing enough, or booking enough jobs, or whatever it may be. There could be, there's a plethora of reasons as to why sometimes we just don't feel like we are at our best. But even when we're not at our best, that's when those are the moments you need to love yourself the most. You know what I mean? And you need to champion yourself the most to get back on track, and to be able to continue to do what you love and love others properly. So I think, I don't know, that just came up for me today. I say different things every time people ask me that, because I don't like to plan conversations or anything like that. I like to be as authentic as I possibly can. But what's coming up for me today is, it's self-love. And that's very, very, very important. And I feel like that word has become a bit buzzworthy. So I hope people don't hear this and think, there's that word again, or the hashtag self-love. But it is, it really, at the end of the day, it means acceptance. And like I said earlier, it's accepting whatever's happened, whatever you've been through, whatever isn't feeling good. It's all okay. It's okay to not always be okay, and to just remind people that there is nothing that anyone, has gone through or is going through, for those who might be struggling with whatever it may be, whether that's mental health or just, bullying, whatever it may be. There's nothing that you're going through that someone else hasn't gone through. And there's 7+ billion people on this planet. You're not alone. And like I said earlier, I think that a lot of negativity manifests in isolation. So make sure that you're finding the right people to surround yourself with, and that you're speaking up and speaking out and getting these negative things out of your body. If you are able to seek this and you're needing it, therapy is wonderful as well. I really am a huge believer in breaking a lot of these stigmas. I think that anyone could use therapy. It's simply just speaking about things to a third party person and getting things off your chest. You know, it can be from anything super minor to something really major, but therapy is wonderful. And I'm a big believer in that as well. So self-love.
Nice. Beautiful words of wisdom. I appreciate that very much.
Thank you. Of course, I appreciate it.
And thank you for allowing me to interview today. This is great. I really enjoyed the whole conversation.
Me too. Thank you so much. And I'm so sorry that we've had to reschedule a few times. That's very unlike me. It's been lots of travels and lots of life changes with the strike and whatnot. It's been, quite interesting, but we'll get through. We always do, right?
Wasn't a problem at all.
Well, thank you so much again, Chris. And yeah, if you need anything, reach out to me. I did send you my EPK, which has a ton of information and photos. I don't know if you can pull them, so I can always send you photos. If not, just let me know. Just email me.
Right. And I was going to ask you about that. I had a couple of questions for you. I did pull them out, but they weren't high resolution.
Okay.
So,
I'm really one of my things I'm not good at is technology. I'm awful. So I'm going to do my best. I'm going to go try to find the iPads, get into the WeTransfers. And I'll try some stuff your way. Hopefully if they're not high resolution, just tell me, because I don't really even know what that means half the time. I'm like, how do I
just
know?
A high resolution? Big old picture. And especially anything that you'd like for the cover that we can kind of choose from. Or if there's one in particular and you're like, yeah, I want this one on the cover, then we'll make sure we use that one as well. So
whatever you feel, you have a good feel for your magazine. I'll send you some photos that I like and that I would like for any of them to really be on the cover. And I also appreciate that. That's an honor to be on the cover. But and whatever speaks to you, just go ahead, go for it.
And then the only other thing is there anyone you can refer me to who would love to be on the cover that you think would be a good fit for us?
Ooh, I'll think on it. I'll think on that. I don't want to be hateful. Oh
yeah, definitely a think on it kind of thing.
Yeah, because then I'll say a name, be like, oh wait, I wish I said that person. So think on it, and if I don't answer that question, remind me. But I'll think on it. I have a few ideas already, so yeah, I'll keep you posted.
Okay. Awesome.
Absolutely.
Well, again, thank you so much. I'll let you get back to your day. I'm glad you didn't get Novocaine today. So
I know I didn't. My teeth feel so weird though, because when you get them clean, there's like all of a sudden spaces again and like air coming through. I keep like playing with my teeth. It's funny, but no, definitely no Novocaine. Just a really much needed cleaning.
Got it.
But anyways, have a good one. Thank you for speaking with me, and we'll be in touch. And I will definitely think on somebody else that I can pass the torch to, or whatever they say.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you, Cassie.
Of course. Take care.
You too.
Thanks for listening to Pivot Perspectives with your host, Chris O'Byrne. Please leave your feedback and visit strategicadvisorboard.com to get the latest and greatest business advice on the planet. Follow us on social media for updates, and we will see you on the next episode.